when you start crimping stuff, it's really empowering because... So this is what we're going to need. We're going to need the cable, and it's just a regular paper clip. This is the tool that's going to do the heavy lifting for us. This is a crimping tool. This one is the cheap version. What I'm going to show you is how to use this as an expensive version anyway. So these are push-through heads, and what that means is it makes it a lot easier. But usually you need a fancier set of crimping tools. I'm just going to show you how to use them now and get a pretty good result with that and that. What we want to do now is just cut the actual cable. So I'm going to take this one and just go straight through. So I'm going to put it through here, and we're going to get it in there, and we're just going to do it very lightly until we have a bit off. The only object in my room that's going to allow me to film this easily. I'm back. What's going to happen now is I'm going to use the first tip of this video. So this isn't new crimping stuff. None of this is stuff that I've invented. This is all just taken from other videos. But the first tip is to just use this paper clip to...
Basically, I try and get it as close to the end of the cable as possible. The orange is usually the easiest. What it does is it keeps both wires from untwisting.
Yeah, then we have, basically what we're going to do is step one is to just get all of these out individually. So once we have all of these, there's this thing. Now I could understand, given that we have something called a crimping tool, that you would use this crimping tool to cut this white thing. But I'm going to recommend that you use these cutting tools instead, because it's a lot easier to get in here with this than it is with the crimping tool. So with the cutting tools, I can get right to the bottom there without cutting any of the other cables, and I can just cut it. Okay, so now what we have to do is get these in the right order, and that's what makes crimping, in my opinion. If there was no order to crimping, then would you even be crimping? I don't think so. When you Google the way to do an Ethernet pair, there's going to be these two standards. The one is 568A and the one is 568B. So I don't totally know what the difference between T56A and T56B is. You could technically put them in any order, because as long as they're the same on both sides, it's fine. But we're going to do RJ45, T56A B, and that's what we're going to do because that's what I saw someone on YouTube do. So the order for that is going to be this over here, which is strappy orange, strappy green, blue, green, strappy brown, and brown. So that's the order that we're going to do. And I like to have this in front of me because I often get confused. So, okay, it's time to get these in order. So now the tricky thing with getting these in order is that there's probably a better way to do this in terms of like which ones you do first, because if you drag the green one behind the blue one, that's probably worse in terms of some things. And you also want to be careful not to break wires. But when we're looking down the barrel of an uncrimped cable, the first thing that you realize is that they're all in these little sockets, which is what makes Cat 6 faster, I think, that they're shielded, they're more shielded, but it also is what makes it harder to crimp because you can't really drag them over each other. But that being said, what we're going to do is get these in the right order now. So the first thing that we need is going to be strappy orange. So we're going to take strappy orange and we're going to put it there. We're going to hold it in our hand like that. Then we're going to get regular orange. Then we're going to get green, strappy green. We're going to hold it in our hand like that. And you can already see that these are like kind of, this is the hardest part, is that these are like overlapping sometimes, and sometimes they're not overlapping. So you can think you have it in the right order, but then it turns out not so much. So that's where the second tip is going to come. But first, we're just going to try to get these roughly in the right order. And this is usually the part where I kind of screw up and have to restart, but not today. I'm hoping to do this in one shot. So we just want to make sure again that we have them in the right order. So we want to have strappy orange. I've done this a couple of times and I still don't remember the order. We want to get these like all in line so that we can just see them and know that for sure that they're good. So now I'm at the point where I think I've kind of got them close to line, but you can see that they're kind of like all going in different directions. And so now this if I could give you, if this video was going to be one tip, I think it would probably be this one. We're going to just start bending them. And when I crimp without doing this step, like you just want to kind of bend them on the same way, and you want to bend them left to right. And you also want to try to do this without breaking them. So that's difficult, and you just kind of grip them pretty hard and then you just bend. And this makes crimping 10 times easier. If you don't do this step, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be crimping for probably 10 times longer than you have to.
Now here's the part that's very important. I just grab it really tight with my left hand and I start bending it side to side, up and down, and move up little by little on that wire.
Once you've kind of got them in a way that it feels like, wow, they're straight now, these are really straight, then then you're kind of done. And then when I do change the order, I just give these a little bit of a movement again, so that they're kind of aligned. Hopefully this time they'll be in the right order. So if I bring them close, we have strappy orange, orange, strappy green, blue, strappy blue, green, strappy brown, brown. That's good. We're done. This is the hardest part, in my opinion. It's the time we put the crimp on the cable. What you want to do is just get these already straight. You want to have these all in lines. They're all in the same plane if I look down, and that's what you want to have. And then when you put them in here, you should be able to see that they're going into, you kind of want to see them go into the holes. And sometimes if they are a bit like if some of them are a bit longer, it's nice now to just go and take the blade that covers everything. And this is where you can start eating up your cable. But you want to take the blade that just cuts them all off. Now they're all aligned. And now you should be able to pretty easily get them through here. And now what we These are actually in the wrong order, so I would recommend at this point you just check that they're in the right order. If they're not, then this is kind of your last opportunity to get them in the right order. We're going to just kind of pull this all the way to the end. We're just going to tug at the end and just pull until, right at the end there. So now is where we're going to use our crimping machine. If you were wealthy, you would have one that has a blade at the end, and then as you pushed it, it would cut through the excess cable. So I'm going to show you my next tip, which I think is original. I didn't see this anywhere. The first thing that you want to do is just check that these are kind of aligned, because sometimes they're not, and then they just go nowhere. So you just want to check that they're aligned. What you can do is just go ahead and crimp, and you just push and hold, and then you can see now that those gold contacts have gone into the plastic and gone into the cables. And now my contribution to the field of crimping is that if you aren't a wealthy person, then what you can do is just keep holding really tight, super, super tight. And then you can take a knife like this and just push down against there and just rock back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, and they're just going to fall off. And I think it's pretty similar to what an actual blade would do. The key is that it has to be under pressure, because if you try and do this when it's not in the crimping position, then I've tried that and it doesn't work. And you just want to go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. And then what you have is, I think, a pretty decent crimping job. Can you tell I'm filming with my hand again? All right, let's see if it works. I guess we go to control center. Hey, there we go, we're connected. We are connected. Can I do airdrop without Wi-Fi? I don't think I can. Okay, Wi-Fi will stay on. I hope that macOS will just figure out how to decide what we're gonna use. Anyway. It's me, hi. Welcome to the end of the video. Thanks for making it. I assume you're someone that knows me if you got to this point. So I really appreciate it. Basically what happened is, after I laid the cable, it was really ugly, and I went to go and buy some cable ties, so I filmed that. But on top of the footage, I'm kind of playing this voiceover of me talking about YouTube. So, hope that's interesting for you. Okay, deep breath, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Part of me has always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I can't remember a time when I haven't wanted to, but I've never really known what I wanted it to be about. This kind of got worse when I listened to CGP Grey on a podcast, and he said that.
But there's a way in which you can feel like, oh, people want to hear that you just put a thing up and it became popular, and you didn't have any expectations of that. But my story of that is a little bit harder to hear because it was fairly calculated. I put that video up with the expectation that it was going to go viral. And I wouldn't be surprised.
This is what I want to hear. Actually, people really want to hear this because
So that was always something that stuck with me, and it was something where I felt like even if I had ideas for videos, I would just kind of shoot them down in my head and think like, oh no, that will never go viral, and therefore I shouldn't publish it. And I think the other thing about CGP Grey and a lot of the other people I subscribe to on YouTube is they all have one kind of style of video that just works, and you know what you're getting. I've never really felt like I had that, and never really felt like I could create videos like that, which are one style. You might notice that this is a YouTube video, so how did I manage to upload it? Well, I think it's a lot of reasons, and I'm going to try and mention some of them. One of them is definitely good vibes on Twitter. There's been a lot of people like Visa and friends who have been pushing this idea of uploading 100 things, whatever they may be, really hard, and that really brushed off on me. Another thing is Lexapro. It's really good. Maybe that's the main thing. I don't know. At the same time as all of this stuff on Twitter was going on, I was reunited with the meme from Art and Fear about the ceramics class. The idea, I'll put this on screen, but the idea is that there's a ceramics teacher, and they announced that one class is going to try and make as many pottery pots as they can, and the other class is going to make just one perfect pot. And then what ends up happening is the class that just makes the most ends up actually making the best one. There's this line right at the end which says, "Attempt mediocrity even." That line by itself is just so poetic, and I think is basically what my YouTube philosophy is now. Instead of trying to create one perfect video, I'm going to try and create 100 mediocre ones, and create 100 mediocre blog posts, and 100 mediocre pictures, and 100 mediocre startups, and hopefully some of them end up not being mediocre, but the mediocre ones will still be better than the ones that don't exist because I was trying to make them perfect. I hope you found this interesting. Ring the bell icon if that still exists in the area you're watching this. As always, thanks for watching. Vsauce does not own the copyright here. As always, thanks for watching. Does he?